from talking to people that played alongside you back in the day whenever you were with the Giants, or how Eli Manning spoke about your incredible football intelligence and your IQ. Feels like you've always been a coach. Is that kind of how you viewed it? Did you know you were going to be a coach after your playing days? And how nice is it to be in a perfect fit, seemingly, with the Raiders and who you are?
Yeah, I think it goes back to all of us, like sitting here on this platform. We all wanted to know the why, right? I want to know the why, and I want to know the explanation of why I was doing something and where we were going with it. So that way I can explain to my teammates while we're out there on the grass in between the white lines. That call comes in, 30 seconds prior. They're sitting there guessing what's going to happen. We're about to watch what's going to happen. And sometimes you go with your gut. So all those guys I played with, I kind of like leaned on them throughout my career. I was fortunate to play with some really talented players. Think about Bruce Smith, Deion Sanders, Jesse Armstead, LeVar Arrington, Darryl Green, go on and on. Like, I've been around some real dudes, man, Strahan, those guys. So what I learned was how to be a leader, but then also use what I could do mentally just to make us a better football team.
Did you know you were going to be a coach? Did you feel like you were going to be a coach? Because AJ over there, obviously all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, he has openly said, just like me, like, never going to be a fucking coach. Never. The amount of time and everything goes in. It feels like that's got to be something within you. Did you know you were going to be a coach?
Man, I love ball. It was my first love. You know what I mean? It was something I always wanted to be a part of. After I got done playing, I went into broadcasting. Right, I did that for 8 years. Kind of like you guys, put the makeup on, look good. Talk to everybody. What you mean? You got a little powder on, baby. Now, come on now.
No, this ain't spray tan either. I'm just naturally like this right here, huh? Naturally red, Antonio. Naturally red.
Some of us don't have that, but no, honestly, I knew I was going to stay around the game of football, and that was going to be something I wanted to do my entire life. And obviously, I got a great opportunity at the lowest level, to be honest. In high school at Long Beach Poly, and then took that to Arizona State, and then obviously was blessed enough to come here with the Raiders and now be the head coach of Las Vegas Raiders.
Congrats, Coach. We love to see it. Go ahead, AJ.
I know you leaned on some legendary coaches as well. I know Tom Coughlin, I believe, was helping you out throughout the year and throughout the whole hiring process. Marvin Lewis, I believe, is on staff. Like, how important is it to have some of those guys around you can lean on and kind of bounce ideas off?
Listen, there's nothing like experience and guys that's been there and done that, right? So for me, those are gentlemen that known me since I was 22, 23, 25, 26 years old. And for me, that was important to sit there and be able to bounce things off of them, ask ideas. Okay, look, and this came up. What would you do? Is there anything different? Do I need to look out for this? I don't want to make mistakes. We get one opportunity for the most part to be a head coach in the National Football League. Some guys are fortunate to get more than one. But for myself, I'm going to take advantage of all my resources and go that direction.
Yeah, you seemingly had success immediately becoming the interim head coach. We talked to Max Crosby. He said you brought back the Soul Train line and the hoop in the locker room. And you even, numerous times, you started with the Raiders chant in the locker room. It's like, how easy of a decision was it for you to be like, the Raiders is the Raiders? What are we even talking about? Let's get back to who we are, and let's take pride in it. And how much did Mark Davis love that from you? And, like, how do you feel about the transition back into who the Raiders actually are, it seems like?
Yeah, well, first of all, just like what AJ talked about, why former players don't want to coach? Because it's not fun. You forget the love of the game and why you're doing it. And you put in all these hours and you don't have the enjoyment of doing it, right? Guys win the game Sunday, and coaches are mad about one or two mistakes. Hell no, we just worked our tails off for 6 days to get to that victory Monday, right? And see you Wednesday type speech that we talked about. And I think with our guys in our locker room, and you talked to Max Crosby, you probably talked to Devontae, we just needed some excitement and some joy, some love for the game. I said, man, go back to when we was in Pop Warner, fellas, and you didn't know what the hell the play call was. You didn't know what your dad was telling you, where the ball was. You just went and got the ball, right? You just took the ball into the end zone. Keep the game simple. It's not a very difficult game, but more importantly, love what you're doing, love being around one another. And when I look at the Raiders, man, it's swagger, it's confidence, it's in your face. You know what I mean? Like, it's, what are we talking about? Like, when you wear the silver and black, you know what time it is when you walk in the building, right? So for us, it's like, man, that's what we need to do. We need to intimidate teams mentally before the game even starts. And then obviously we got to go out there and play.
Do you feel like you have the locker room for it? Felt like it was an immediate response from the guys in the locker room whenever you kind of asked them to become what the Raiders have been known for whenever they were successful, but maybe lost their way a little bit.
Yeah, we talked about that throughout my time, 22 months as a linebacker coach, of just what it's like. Not even be a Raider, but be a pro. Like, what is it like to play the game the right way? How it sounds, how it looks, what it feels like, what it smells like. What does winning look like? What does winning stamina look like each and every week? What's a winning performance? Not just by the coaches, not by the players, but by the guy that's mopping the floor, by the kitchen, the chef. The food tastes a little better when everybody's all in, right?
Hell yeah.
Upstairs, we're making money when everybody feels a certain way you come in the building. So to me, it was like, listen, man, what we need to do is I need from bottom up. First floor to third floor, I need everybody all in. If you're not in, you need to go see Mark Davis and Sandra Douglas Morgan and probably get your check and get out the building. Because this is how we're going to rock from now on. And it wasn't hard, man, because that's what the guys wanted to do. That's the feeling we want. That's why we play this game. It's no different than why you're doing your show, right? You love what you do. But goddamn it, we only got a short window to play this game a certain way for this organization, this team, and this league. And this is how we're going to do it. The guys bought in, and listen, we need more wins and we want more wins, but I'll tell you what, we're going to do it with some style and flash. We're going to do it the Raider way.
Yeah, I love it. I love everything you're saying. Hey, Coach, I wish I could play for your team. Tone's got a question for
you.
you.
Come on, man. You look good. Shit, come on,
Yeah,
you slow.
I'm not passing any tests.
I'm mad that you don't got the tank top on, though, man. I was like, you got the Rolex on. I was rocking mine. I'm like, come on, what are we doing?
Well, you have a full sweatsuit on. Do you have a tank top on underneath?
Raiders gear?
Yeah.
It's raining. No, it's just black. It's raining outside, so I might have to.
Hey, I heard rain and cold out there. What the fuck? We were coming out there this week. It's warmer in Indiana than it is in Vegas. What's the deal?
I don't know.
This is on you. This is on you.
Too much red. There's too much red in the city. Silver and black city.
Football gods, I understand. Go ahead, Tone.
Coach, you talked about Devontae and Max Crosby and them coming out and basically saying, like, we don't want to be here if AP's not our coach. What did that mean? How'd that feel for you? And are those your leaders, your two leaders moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, that's huge, man. I mean, for those guys to step up, that speaks volumes for them, that they're comfortable in their own skin, knowing that, it might make everybody happy in the building. I'm sure Mark Davis didn't like that. And, we talked about it afterwards. And I think there's a way you go about it. But I think what it shows is that we were connected. We all see the same thing. We all want the same goal, and we see the same vision of how to get there. So when you got somebody in place that you're comfortable with, that you feel is pushing you to that level to get where you want to be, and at the end of the day, listen, it's all about winnings and productions, right, fellas? I get the whole glamour and all that, man. We're about winning. I mean, our goal is to try to get and be the best team in this division, and we know we got to go through the team in Kansas City. And number 15, it starts with those guys, and we got to knock them off each and every year, along with the rest of our division. But to have your two best players, not on the Raiders, but in the National Football League, talk about you. I mean, that little pressure on AP now. We got to come with it. We got to do a good job this offseason.
Hey, Max.
But yeah, listen, look.
Max was saying he was trade me. Fucking trade me.
Yeah.
Bring it easy.
No, don't do that though. Hold on, slow down, Max. That's not how you give a phone call, but we're good. Don't go there yet.
It felt like it was just a natural fit, and then obviously with what the players said. But Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, going off all that, then there were the reports right after the season where we were saying, hey, this is a slam dunk. Hire this guy right now. It just makes sense. All his best players want him to be hired as well. Then there were the reports that a couple other teams brought you in for interviews. What was that process like, and was it kind of just a formality? Was it always Raiders or bust for you?
Well, I tell you what, just to go through that process, I think, and what I told Mark is, told him very simple. Like, I don't want Mark making a decision based off the noise or what he's feeling pressure to do. I said, when you make your decision, I want you to go home at night and sleep well. Like, that's my guy. I made the right decision. No second guessing. If you second guess, let me go. Let me walk. And we had a great conversation about that. I think the formality with the other interviews was a great process for me. I didn't want to cheat any of this process. I wanted to go through it. I wanted people to poke holes in me and my process and what my vision was for a football team in the National Football League and get feedback, right? Because I know it one way right now, right? And that's the Raider way. But it's good to hear from other people, other GMs, other organizations of how they see things, what they see when they saw Antonio Pierce and the Raiders for those 9 weeks. So for me, great feedback, obviously great opportunity for me to get better, but Mark Davis and Raider Nation know where I wanted to be this whole time.
Okay, so because we thought that there was a chance that Mark Davis said, you've earned this opportunity to go interview somewhere else, and why don't you go see what it's like and then come back home. What did you get a chance to take away from other places? Is there stuff you're going to take away and kind of implement with the Raiders, or did you guys see how it worked last year while you're in them, and it's like, let's build upon that?
Yeah, I think what I got out of it was just the processes, right? How you look at your staff. What's your philosophy in the draft, free agency? How do you build a team? How do you set the culture? How do you maintain the culture? How do you work together with people within the building? How do you get together with the communities and get out there and outreach and do things of that nature? So, and then also when you talk to other organizations, everybody runs their place a little differently, right? It's kind of like, wow, okay, you do that, you don't do that. That's really cool what you do. And you take and say, all right, look, what can we do better, Mark? What have I seen or I've heard from outside? Because again, really a tight-knit group of owners and organizations where they don't really talk, right? It's all these secrets and these back channels. And when you kind of infiltrate that a little bit and get some information, it makes us better.
Yeah, and obviously, whenever you have a high football IQ and you see what's good and what's bad, because some people see stuff and it's like, oh, we should implement that, and it's shit. Yeah, it makes it worse. When you're a football genius, from what people say about you, that's not you saying it, that's what your teammates say about you, and an incredible motivator. Can't wait to see what the Raiders become, because the AFC West is a fucking monster right now. Go ahead, AJ. Yeah, hell yeah.
Come on.
Go ahead, AJ.
Hey, once you were named the interim head coach there, was there any doubt in your mind that you were going to become the full-time head coach?
No. I told Mark the day that we talked on October 31st that I was going to blow his mind, that he didn't know what was about to happen. I kind of laid it out to him what we was going to do each and every week. I was very upfront. I'm really big in communication. And I told Mark exactly what we're going to do and how I see games playing out in our mindset. And let's go to that Christmas Day game. I told him to a T what we was going to do to that offense. I told him how we was going to finish that game. I felt it. Our players felt it. We built it up all week. We learned from our mistakes, a month prior when we blew a 14 lead at home. I said, no, we're not doing it. We're gonna put the fear in God in that offense and have them running for their lives. And that's kind of how it played out. No different than when we got shut out at home against the Minnesota Vikings. I was embarrassed. It was very embarrassing for our organization, myself, our staff, our players. We had 4 days. I told our guys get out the building for an hour. We walked back in that bad boy. We washed our face. We went back to work. I said, look, man, we're gonna roll. I said, I didn't think it was gonna be 63 now. I will say that. But I told Telesco, I said, hell, when we got to 6-3, I was going for 71 because I was going to go for 2 to get that record. So that was going to piss him off. But, that's just our mindset, man. And what I've done with Mark and our relationship is really, really cool because we talk a lot throughout the week. Each and every day we talk, just lines of communication, so there's no surprises. But, yes, when he gave me that job, I had no plans or thoughts to let it go to anybody else. That was not going to happen.
The moxie of being a Raider seems like you're the perfect fit. Speaking of finding those, Connor has a question.
Yeah, Coach, you just mentioned it with Tom Telesco. How has that relationship been early on so far working with him, and what is the vision that you guys have as a team, going forward and building it together?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great, to be honest. It's been kind of a unique situation with me and him because he's going and looking at our staff, our roster, our personnel, our needs. Obviously, free agency's coming up. You got the combine, you got the draft. So he's working on his end, and I'm trying to build a staff together, right? So we kind of been bouncing things back and forth with one another. But what he does have is a lot of experience. He's been in places that they've won. Go back when he was in Indianapolis. He had a great mentor in Bill Polian. So he knows how to build a team, how to build a roster, both through the draft and free agency, and just bouncing ideas off. He knows I'm super aggressive. I'm going to sit there. I'm jumping for the stars, landing on the moon. Maybe I'm on Earth at some point. But it's a great balance between us two. And it's also like, I got to push him along a little bit. Like, hey, man, we're rolling. Like, this bad boy, we're in Vegas. We're rolling. Like, there's no time to wait. I'm not saying we're going to win the Super Bowl next year, but goddamn, we're going to be really competitive, and we need to get going now.
Finding Raiders, it feels like there's an identity, there's a culture. Now we got to find the players that can continue to build it. Now, moving away from the Raiders, let's talk about the Raiders home for the week. There's another team there that's in your division. And the defense pretty well. Darius has a question for you.
Yeah, you played for Spags. We had Eli on, I think, last week, and he was talking about, how you guys will go back and forth at the line of scrimmage. You'll be changing blitzes from the side. What is it about that defense over there that Spags is running in Kansas City? And are you bringing some of that you did at the Giants and that defense to that Raider defense, which did a great job when you took over last year?
Yeah, what you see with Spags is somebody that's going to be aggressive. The closer you get to that goal line or to midfield, that's when the heat comes, man, right? That's when you get your zero pressures. That's when you get your overloads. He does a good job of always giving you the same picture, right? You see those two corners. You see Snead really physical, put his hands on guys. Hell, they're choke out every receiver you can if possible. And then you got a really good corner in Mcafee. And at the end of the day, he's got the beast in the middle. He's got Chris Jones. I mean, they just move him up and down the line. And they got a great middle linebacker who does a really good job of just kind of orchestrating that bad boy. It does. It reminds me of myself. Listen to the mic call, listen to where the direction of the slide's going, and then flipping that bad boy going from right to left or up the middle. I mean, they got it all, and that's why you really have to give credit to what Spags has done with that defense because they're young. They're not. This is the first year they've really had a legit top 10 defense, and they've done it each and every week and really leaned on the defense more than offense.
And Spags got 0 conversations for head coaching, so he's just going to be there.
Crazy.
He's going to be there in the division seemingly forever, just doing what they're doing. Obviously, everybody's getting better in the AFC West. We're pumped about you getting added into the head coaching picture that takes place in Hawaii or wherever the hell it is every single year. Can't wait to see what you wear in that. You know, versus what Andy Reid.
I got to go a little bigger, right? I got to get a little bit bigger, right?
I think so. You showing up at a drop with is the coolest thing of all time. I want to let you know that.
But I had that car for a while. Like, it's crazy. Like, first of all, like, I was cool before I was a head coach.
You're changing, man. You're changing it all.
That's what we're talking about.
You're changing it all. And you're not just doing it like in a bullshit way. You teamed up with Circle K this week to give back to the city of Las Vegas and all the people that are kind of behind the scenes. This is a beautiful thing. As soon as we heard about this, we're like, we'd love to talk about it, love to spotlight it. Why'd you get involved with Circle K, and what are you doing this week for the Super Bowl behind the scenes for the people that are working?
Yeah, I think you just hit on it, right? With Circle K, it's always about the people behind the scenes. Everybody knows the front runners, who's there, who's making all the calls. But it's really about this cup right here, right? And this is the only thing red I'm going to really hold around this week is because of Circle K. But more importantly, I got a little something here. It's not coffee, right? It's not espresso, but it's a $250 gift card for all these people behind the scenes. I'm going to walk around down here on the strip in a bit. I'm going to hand out this gift card to some people like, hey, man, look, you need to go ahead and join up with Circle K and myself. Giving back to the Las Vegas community is always about the people that are behind the scenes, the bottom. I call them not the bottom feeders, the ones that nobody talks about, no recognition, but they're the ones that really make this bad boy work. And obviously, if you know my story, comes from that underdog mentality, the underdog world. Well, these are people from behind the scenes that people don't give enough credit to. That tonight and today, that's what we're going to do. And then you can check out my social media. Got some cool stuff coming later, man. I'm not going to quite tell you guys yet. Gotta wait for the surprise. I can get my followers up a little bit more in likes, but you know how that works. We'll do that on my social media.
Hey, active. I was checking out at Antonio Pierce on X. You're active in there. Hey, he's active.
Hell
yeah.
Come on, grow it.
How many coaches are active on social media? Like, the other key part, that's how you follow your players. That's where you know where you're at. Hey, where you at, though?
Yeah, but they're all doing it like from a ghost account. You're doing it from your actual account, which is why we appreciate what you're bringing to the NFL. The future is bright. You're the man. Thank you to you and Circle K taking care of the people that are doing it out there. And enjoy this entire offseason as a head coach, pal.
Enjoy. Man, I got work to do. Let's go, man. Let's go. Shit, I'm fired up.
All right, I hope it's fucking miserable, dude. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the Raiders, Antonio Pierce.
Yeah, coach.